Back in August 2010, I couldn't breathe. I just couldn't breathe. I ended up seeing Dr. Swan, and I ended up in the hospital, had heart failure. So in January 2011, I went down to St. Michael's and had 2 mechanical valves put in.
Winona had an excellent result surgically with regards to the 2 valves that were implanted by the surgeon. And we could see after the operation definite improvement. But unfortunately, a few weeks after the operation, we started to see deterioration.
I felt good for about a month, 2 months, and then I started feeling worse again.
And the question we had to ask each other was one of the valves or both of the valves failing, or was it a muscle problem with her heart? One of the new things that we're doing in Canada and around the world today is using biventricular pacing. This is a method where we can improve the overall pump function of the left ventricle and in some cases return it to normal by putting in special pacing devices inside a person's heart. Clearly, when we looked at her pump function was horrible and she was a candidate, but the ECG excluded her. So then we fell back to new parameters which are now available for 3D echo. And the 3D echo parameters suggested that she would be a suitable candidate for biventricular pacing.
We find that by putting in pacemakers that pace both the lateral wall and the medial wall, both walls of the heart chamber simultaneously, these patients often have an improvement in their symptoms as well as live longer. So it's very gratifying for them.
We talked to Dr. McEngee, and they decided, okay, that's what they were going to do. I couldn't leave the hospital until it was done.
And when she came out into the recovery area, she started immediately to feel better.
The other important aspect of 3D echo is that we use it to serially monitor our patients after they've had the devices put in. We see whether they're doing better, whether they're staying the same, or if they're doing worse. And then the 3D echo also helps us fine-tune the programming of the device to ensure that it's optimized and working well. The huge advantage of being able to do 3D echo in the community is that in these sick patients with heart failure, it allows us to rapidly alter management, fine-tune devices, and impact patients in terms of the way they feel.
If I had to end up going someplace else, it would be so much longer to have to go to referral to have this done, and then I'd have to go back, and if I was really, really bad, I wouldn't be able to drive myself, so it would be very, very bad for me.
Delays in management in patients with these devices often leads to patients spiraling down progressively and rapidly, and these patients can't wait months.